Happy Labor Day. Wanted to do a video on pipe bender. This is my experience with using a pipe bender. So you can see this is one that I have. It's a Central Hydraulic. Bought it from Harbor Freight quite a few years ago. It's done quite a bit of bending of pipe, some tubing too. And that's what I wanted to get into the discussion about. This is a pipe bender, not a tubing bender. They get a lot of bad rap, I think, because the expectations that sometimes we expect out of them, and myself included. Took me a while to be able to figure out how this thing can work for me. Now, the way that I use it is laying down like this. It works best. Let's first talk about pipe. Now, this here is muffler pipe, and this was bent on a muffler tubing bender. And the way that works is the die kind of clamps a hold of it and then bends it out and stretches it through the bend, which does this distorting here. You can see where the actual size was here, and then it changes as it bends through it. If you're gonna bend, it doesn't look good for a roll cage, so I would not bend things that way. And if we're talking about doing it for specs of NHRA, it might not be allowed, and plus this is not qualified size, and I'm not up on the sizes. Back when I was helping build some cages, I thought it was 120 wall, but no, it wasn't 120 wall. It was something thinner than that, and it depends on which bar too. So now I can't reference that, but there's a rule book out there, and I'm sure there's a lot of you that know the specs on that more than I do, but that won't meet. Nor do I know if pipe will. Now, pipe is measured different. Tubing is measured on the OD, okay, on the OD, whatever size it is. Tubing is tubing and pipe is pipe. Pipe is measured on the ID. So this is what you call Schedule 40 pipe. Schedule 40 pipe isn't 3/16 thick. It's they go by different measurements than that, but that's what I call it. Is about 3/16 thick. So it's pretty thick stuff. They do make different schedules. There's Schedule 80, Schedule 120. You know, of course, thicker, the more heavier and the more stouter it's going to be. They do make a Schedule 20, Schedule 2, and I don't know the thickness of that, but this is the most common, Schedule 40, that you're going to see in your steel shops. It's measured on the ID, so that's, I believe, 1.5 ID, which comes out to be greater than 1 3/4. So these pipe dies that come with this bender are set up for pipe. So this one here is set up for this size pipe. Fits in there pretty good. It's not a real good foot, but it will work. Okay. And that actually, this bend here was done with this die here. Okay, you can see a little bit of just a little bit of kinking right there, but that's not bad. This is, you know, it's a little flat and thinner through here, but it's not too bad. It definitely is better than that. Of course, if these pieces were still on here, you could see the change in size from this to the actual tubing size. So this isn't too bad. For a lot of people, this isn't going to be good enough. And of course, if you're building, you know, if I was building, you know, a dragster, I wouldn't be wanting to get myself into pipe and putting that much weight into the car. And I don't know that this would pass specs, so So those some information that, you know, if you're building a cage, maybe you should check out, because you don't want to invest money and time into work, into putting a cage in your car where you're talking about going fast, and then you haven't built it to needed specs. But this stuff does work good if you're in the off-road world, four-wheel driving, you know, bumpers, skid bars or whatever, they're on the side of the rig. You know, suspension stuff, you know, like you're doing a gasser, you know, out in the front, you know, coming down from the firewall. I just wouldn't build a full whole cage out of it. Let's talk about the pipe bender and how it works. Okay, so the pipe bender has the die here. This is a small one here. Put your die on, and it pushes on the pipe here. Here's your rollers, and the rollers are supposed to let the pipe spin freely on the rollers here. Okay, now when it pushes on the pipe up to here, and you start pushing the pipe, if you push it too far, you're going to put a kink in it. Okay, so what I have learned, and I've seen that others have done, is we will take a measurement, say, I don't know, 10 inches, and every 10 inches put a 1-inch mark all the way down. Okay, so you'll start in the middle on your mark, okay, and you put a mark on this center mark here. Okay, then you lay it in there, and you'll get it right on the mark. You'll do your first bend. Say, I wouldn't go more than, start with maybe 15 degrees. Okay, bend to there and count your pumps. Okay, count your pumps. Okay, then move it to the next line. Okay, same thing. Okay, move it all the way down and both sides, you know, and get your accurate pumps on each spot that you're going through. Now, after you get to that, of course, you're probably going to need to add pumps, but you're not concentrating your bend in one spot, because the way these are built, it's going to kink that. Okay, now it has a tendency to kink tubing easier than pipe. I'm thinking it's because of the wall thickness of tubing. A lot of the tubing that I've tried to bend was thinner wall than pipe. Let's see what else. This is a pipe die here that I custom did to bend a piece of tubing in. And it's on my car, so I can't show it to you because it's hidden, but I ground out this area here. This isn't the tubing size, so the tubing would fit in there. Okay, if it's too loose, like this is too loose, what happens is it starts to spread out in these vacant areas, and then your pipe just flattens out. It just flattens out through this bend here. Okay, so that would never happen. It would actually rise up in the middle like this is here. I mean, this tubing would never fit in this size. I don't even think it would be in this size. No, it's too tight in that one even. So yeah, these dies are only made for pipe, and there's not sizes that are going to equal tubing. So that's why I modified this one so that I could fit a piece of tubing in it and bend it. And I believe it was over 1.5 inches. Might have been 1 5/8. It's been a long time, so I can't remember. But quite a few years ago, a friend of mine and I, he was making a tube chassis car. Yeah, a lot of pipe and a lot of bending, and he didn't want to invest in an expensive tubing bender, and all he had was a same kind of bender I have here. So what he done was he ground, well, I believe a die just like this one, this size, because he was going with roll cage size and he was using tubing. So he ground it out to fit the pipe, and then what he did was he took a piece of round stock and ran it all along here at the top edge, and from what I remembered, he had it come in just a little bit. I thought I remember him talking that he actually had to fit, kind of tap the pipe in. It was fit so tight, but it bent the tubing without kinking it, and he did lots of bends with it. I remember seeing the car, and I was blown away that he did so much bending with the pipe bender, modified die, bending all that tubing and building a car. It was a lot of work. But so tubing benders, the ones I've seen, the ones that I like, there's many different styles out there. The one that I like the best, it's you'll see a lot of them are built the same, and I have a company that I would rather buy one from. But it's a big die. Of course, the dies are what cost, but it's more of almost a whole circle, okay? And then it's got degrees on it, okay? And like I said, each die is made for each piece of tubing. Okay, so the tubing goes in the die, so it'll go in the die, and it's almost like full circle, like I said. And then it has a follower that either hydraulically bends or manually bends the pipe through the die. It has a follower that just follows it through and manually bends it through the die, which works a lot better than this method here. And I've noticed that out of numerous high-end or not so high-end. I'm not paid by them, but I kind of favor to the Eastwood. It's the most affordable bender, and it's got the characteristics that I like. I want a laid iron style like this. I've seen other styles that are upright. Speedway sells one, and it kind of pushes the tubing down through it, and I want a lay down style because I just think it's going to work better. Let's see, what else can I give on advice of that? So yeah, just modifying the dies to fit what you're going to bend. Try not to bend. I don't believe you're ever going to be able to bend a muffler pipe, but I personally haven't ever done enough time into making a die work with muffler pipe. This looks like maybe inch and a half, or I don't know. I can't remember what size this is. I just got a tape measure, I can tell you. Yeah, it's about inch and a half. Inch and a half muffler pipe. So, muffler pipe, it usually comes in 1 inch, inch and a half, 2 inch, 2.5. They do, go in quarter increments, but seems like tubing you can get in sizes in between that. So, anyways, like I said, some guys have also tried lubing this area up so the pipe slides in here nice. I don't know how well that theory is, being it's only just pushing up through the pipe, it's not sliding through it. So I'm not really sure how that works to benefit, but these do need to spin freely, so if those aren't spinning nice and freely, that might be an issue. Yeah. So if anybody has any, any advice or questions about their pipe bender that they've used, and feel free to chime in, because I've used it, but I haven't used it a considerable amount. Actually was at a garage sale and found someone that didn't like theirs, and they were having all these extra pipe dies that I come up with. So I have some of them that are the same size. I had some extras. There's even one, when you buy the set, there's one bigger size. I didn't bring it out because it's so big. I think it'll bend up to 3-inch. I would say that I will keep this around, because when I because I don't have a tubing bender right yet, but I don't want to use my tubing bender to be bending big stuff like this. If I'm going to do some frame reinforcement, something really heavy duty, I don't want to use a tubing bender to do that and abuse it. As you can see, this one here, I've bent some big stuff. So you see that's not got a bend on it there. So, and mine has is a 12 ton. I've seen some of them that are a 16 ton. Some of them have like a little plate right here with a couple springs on it to pull this cylinder down when you release the jack here, or the bottle jack. But it's pretty good. I think it gets a lot of bad comments that it doesn't deserve. It's a pipe bender, and it's not a tubing bender, and you can't push the window with it. I will say that this bend that I did here, this is an old bend, but this is one. I don't think I moved it. I think it was just one bend, and it came out like that. So you could probably make that even look a little better, I think. But for anybody using a pipe bender, hope this helps. I don't know what today's price they are on them, but I would say it was a good investment. But have a good day. Happy Labor Day. Talk to you later.